Okay, so cordial greeting. My name is Samuel Barreto. It's more than a pleasure to be here to present um, this article that we expect to publish in these days. So basically, I'm a student from Uniminuto and I'm working with Professor Blanca, Lucia, Cely, Betancourt, who is a magister of education and is also a professor from Uniminuto. Just to clarify, this is like a short part of a whole investigation that we are doing to present. In my case, to present like my graduate option, which is the thesis, yeah. Well, in this presentation, well, the name of the presentation is Causes of Low Communicative Competences in English as a Foreign Language, Considerations and Reflections. Yes, so basically, we are going to present this. And this presentation is going to talk about theoretical concepts, to talk about previous research studies, yes? Well, basically, that is like the first thing that we wanted to introduce. Also, talking about low communicative competences, we have that, well, English is the most spoken language in the world. So as researchers, we wanted to like, if English is like the most spoken language in the world, why some people struggle mastering English? Yes. So as we are investigating, our research is focused on like higher education, talking about like first semester students at Uniminuto here in Colombia, Bogota. We took some investigation both from high school or higher education, yes. So, well, talking about our now research, well, the problem in higher education is based on pedagogical, curricular, methodological, disciplinary, and didactic aspects of the institution. So Peñaranda give like some recommendations, which are give students enough material to access to the library, books, to improve reading, writing, and well, other materials that enhance the learning processes. Based on Echeverria and Madrid study research, they research that well, communicative competences depend not just in the student, but also in the acquisition learning process and also in the period, yes. So what they mean here is that it is well important not just to characterize the students, but also to check the learning process and well, the period or the age they are learning English. Yes, so it helps to teachers identify learning strategies students implement, and also reflect on like different teaching strategies to overcome the problems of students and also to identify factors that influence negatively the learning process to have like a high level, yes. And so, well, so talking about theoretical aspects, English as a foreign language, we have this concept that it is used in non-native speaking countries. So English as a foreign language is defined as people who don't learn English from childhood, or also English as a foreign language is a concept that is used in non-native speaking countries. So in some countries, the official language is not English. They are like some other languages. Yes. So as I mentioned before, talking about that, taking into account that English is used the most by non-native speakers, we have our important concept here, which is English as lingua franca, yes, which Mauranen defines that concept as English used in people which their native language is different, yes. And so basically, people who know different languages, let's say, but they don't have like the same native language, but have like a language in common, which is English. They use English, which is the language in common to communicate. Yes, that is the definition. So, well, talking about our previous research studies, we have that, well, some studies that there are plenty of studies that focus on the causes of low communicative competences. The first one is JEPES, who studied a high school population. And well, based on the research, on this research, students think that to learn English is important, but just to fulfill the school goals. Yes, what he means with the school goals is to get just the diploma and to graduate from high school, and that's it. However, if they have like long-term goals, they have like long-term goals with English, learning English. For example, if they think that English is not just important to get the diploma or to graduate from high school, but also to have better job opportunities, have a better lifestyle, whatever, they would have like a higher performance. Bastidas and Munoz has stated in their study that there are like internal and there are external and internal factors that affect the communicative competences. Yes, in external factors we have sociocultural and educational factors that have like the greatest influence of students. Yes, what he means with sociocultural and educational factors are related with the socioeconomic characteristics of the population, the learning environment, the institutional curriculum, the teachers training, the teachers training, and other aspects of the institution. Yes, that those are the ones who have the greatest influence. Yes, and internal factors, students' attitude, attention, and motivation influence, like not in a greater, not in that great, no, they don't have like this great influence, but they have also an influence. Yes, and Diaz also state that students in their demographic study, students with 1, 2, and 3 economic strata have the lowest level, and also interest how comfortable the students are in the class, and their relationship, the relationship with the teacher, affect the performance. Yes, and Lopez and Segeman also have a study of socioeconomic aspects of students, and also they stated that demographic and institutional factors are important to prompt this good performance of students. Yes. So some other studies, Rainey, Senyol, and Lay, and Seki Tekiwan Kufi, stated that teachers training have influence because, talking about Rainey study, the performance of students is influenced because teachers use like the native language in classes. Yeah, so it is like a bad influence from students. And also talking about Seki Tekiwan Kufi in their teacher in the teachers training factors, they found that teachers are not well prepared to like teach some subjects at the university. Yes, so that's the problem. And also, Renny, Señor, and Ley added that university curriculum is like not such as good because English is not practiced in class. Yes. Ceballos research implemented like some approaches to learn English in order to know if those approaches are beneficial to students have a good English level. So those approaches are English for academic purposes and English for communicative purposes, which those are like relevant methodologies and approaches to implement in some institutions here in Latin America to students who like have a high level and also the knowledge of how to communicate in English, using English, talking about different subjects. Yes, and Medina, Cely, and Aris research stated that students' motivation obviously affect the learning process. And what it is suggested here is that there is a need to like implement new methodologies and innovate in teaching to prompt intrinsic motivation, which is like the most beneficial motivation of students based on their research. Yes. Parra, Villarreal, and Castillo, they found like some recommendations, and they suggest some recommendations to students have a good performance in English. So they stated that through the use of tables, pictures, flashcards, visual aids, and film strips, it could help to students create a mental bond to students, like learn in a better way because they are engaged in class, and also through the use of games, music, and dictionary, students can identify better context of English, and they can obviously increase their English level. Yes, Richard and Lockhart, they proposed some learning strategies to students be aware of them, which are memory strategies, cognitive, compensatory, metacognitive, affective, and social, which is they are like good because students learning about them and implementing in their learning process, they can learn how to learn and how to improve their level, yes, their performance. Wimmelmas also stated that motivation plays an important role to students learn in a better way, let's say. And Wilson stated that, well, teaching teaching strategies and the teaching skills implemented by teachers well, influence the high performance of students, yes. Finally, we have Kadek here and Amir study that that stated that it is not just important like the context, the learning environment, the teacher's training, the university curriculum, the motivation, internal factors, but also it is important to teachers assess students, not just to know what is the performance of students, but also to reflect what are the strategies teachers can implement to students have a good performance, a good performance and a higher level of English. And finally, Western Governors University stated that, well, environment in class is important because they can promote the environment can promote safety, freedom, and pursuing knowledge. And Burma agreed with Western Governors University that environment is beneficial because it should encourage students participate in class without the care of making mistakes. Yes. So, well, as conclusions, we have three. English is important to have more opportunities, of course. If you master English, obviously you are going to get benefits and you are going to be involved in this globalized world. Benefits from job or academic things, yes, because knowing and having in mind that English is the most spoken language in the world, you can get benefits through the mastery of English, yes. Learning also depends on, well, based on previous research study and what I've been talking in this presentation, the learning of English depends on context, on the learning environment, on the teachers and classmates population, yes. Also in demographic things such as economic strata, the university curriculum or the institution curriculum, yes. Also, it depends on learning strategies that the students implement, motivation of students, and the teachers' training to know how to teach, how to implement the strategies, and how to increase the performance of students. And as a final recommendation, we have training to use methodologies, approaches, and materials to students engaged in class. Teachers, through this teachers' training, of methodologies, approaches, and materials to students engaged in class, students would have like a good performance in their learning process. Yes. And finally, we have here the QR code of references used in the presentation. So we hope you have like enjoyed our presentation, and if you have any doubt, we are here to answer your doubts.